I think so. Anyone out there?
It says host has not joined yet on JB's.
He's gone. Where'd he go? No, it's come up on mine that we're live.
Yeah, but it says live. And,
Bloody technology.
Yeah, all three of you are on there.
Yeah, we're all on.
we're on.
Yeah.
See JB. See him.
How you going, Jay? I think we're live.
Just go back. You're all on.
We are all. Jack, apparently we can, mate, but I probably can't hear you.
Phone and the computer.
Hello, he's joined.
Hey,
Hey, hello everyone. How you going?
sorry
Well-
about that, fellas.
Welcome, Jack.
Bit more technical difficulties. All right, let's get started, eh? Just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians where we all meet, work, play, and welcome everyone else in as well, and pay respects to our elders, past and present, and any emerging elders as well. Tonight we've got a very special guest, Jay Forrester. Jay, tell us a little bit about your backstory, brother.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, JB. I'd just like to acknowledge country. I'm on Wiradjuri country out in Dubbo, Central West New South Wales, and pay my respects to elders past and present, and non-Indigenous brothers and sisters that may be listening to us today or in the future. I guess my story is I was raised by great parents here in Dubbo, schooled in Dubbo, and then after school, I become a plumber. So I guess I should start back again. My father's Aboriginal, my mum's non-Indigenous. My mum was raised in Bourke, so I have connection to far western New South Wales, and she was raised on a property and a station out there. So when I get to travel back out to Bourke, which I haven't done for a little while now, I feel the connection there straight away on my non-Indigenous side. And then on my father's side, he's a bit of quite a small family. He was the youngest of four. Had a sibling that died quite young, which is quite, I guess, happened quite often back in them days. There wasn't medical support around. And then, so basically a sporting background with a couple of siblings. And then, so I become a plumber. And then after meeting my wife, high school sweethearts, we got married and then decided to become a registered nurse. So I got a background in nursing now. So from nursing, mental health, and then basically progressed. So I'm a team leader for Wellington Aboriginal Corporation Health Service, or WACS, as everyone knows it. It's a pretty big, I guess, logistics span of services across New South Wales. So we have a drug and alcohol rehab at Moree, a practice in Wellington, some programs in Dubbo, and then more recently, over the last 4 years, we're taking on a service at Mount Druitt and another little practice in Penrith. And then sometime this year, hope to have another.
We lost brother boy there.
I think so. Just you might
Just momentarily.
Yeah, momentarily. Yeah, no.
All right, we'll wait for Jay to come back.
Yeah,
Charlie,
Jay.
what have you been up to, brother?
Oh, mate. I've cooked the best banana bread in Queensland, I think. It must have been the bananas.
Well, you know what? I reckon it was the eggs.
It could have been the eggs. I don't know what it was, but it tasted all right. It was really good. So thanks for the tell Lisa. Thanks for the recipe. And
I will.
enjoyed a piece of it on Sunday there. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
No, that was good. And I've got enough there to make another two, I think. I might have to give it another go. By the third one, I think I'd have it probably, show worthy.
CJ, I do have to compliment you on the banana bread. It was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
And we did have a nice piece yesterday with a nice coffee, brother.
Yeah,
and we've got
did.
Jay back here now, so I'll bring him back into the picture.
Yeah, look, okay. There he is.
Right, brother. We're just having a yarn about CJ's banana bread he whipped up yesterday.
nice and healthy.
Yeah, it was actually.
gluten-free. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually pretty nice. So yeah, I've been talking about it for a while, and I think a lot of people who join us on this call call me out a bit and said, "Well, you're talking the talk, Charlie. Better do something about it." So,
Well, Dan Hogan's one of those, brother. So should be really pleased to know that you got the job done.
yeah, I know. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Now listen, Jay, I'm going to take the focus with me. I'm back to you, my brother.
Sorry about that.
That was interesting. Your introduction in terms of first of all, becoming an apprentice and taking on a trade as a plumber. But what kind of convinced you to or influenced you to take up nursing?
I guess when my wife became pregnant with my first child, so we're pretty lucky. We've got 4 children now. I'd worked hard enough, I guess, to set myself up to go to uni. By no means was I an academic at school. My schooling was I went to school at Catholic school, so my parents were fortunate enough, worked hard to be able to put me in a Catholic education. But I was probably in the general maths. I remember doing English, and I was there was only 2 other fellas that were in my English class, and we were just sort of put on a room to do our own thing and our own learning. And I probably didn't get the benefit, and I probably didn't apply myself. And school probably wasn't quite for me. I enjoyed school. I wasn't in trouble at school, but academically, I just wasn't really interested, like probably most of our mob. And I think it's a story that relates to quite a lot of people, that it doesn't matter what you achieve at school, you can still actually achieve your goals. And then going forward, finishing my plumbing apprenticeship, so it's a Cert 4 in plumbing and draining and gas fitting. And then I actually got my plumber's license, so I could have my own business, but it just wasn't an interest of mine. And then obviously I had a passion around health, specifically Aboriginal health. I like health and fitness myself. My family, my wife's actually a PDH PE teacher. And it was just an opportunity that I thought you could get into uni. I went through a career admission program. So obviously I just had to sit a few exams and tasks, and then completed them, and then was accepted by Charles Sturt University, and it was in Dubbo. So being able to live locally and not travel away, especially with starting a new family, it was really made the transition easier for me. I actually worked full time during all my study. I wouldn't have been able to afford to go back on a student allowance. We had bought a house, so income was pretty important to me, but obviously education and bettering myself was very important. I was lucky my parents have played a massive part in my life and really assisted and guided, in a sense, for my brother and my sister to achieve what we've achieved to date. And my position now at WAX and what I tried to do, I guess, role model, anything can be achieved. It doesn't matter your status or where you've been from, or um, you can always achieve your goals. And I guess everyone's goal setting is different. And I'll talk to you fellas about this. Is how do you measure success? Success may be waking up in bed and having a smile on your face, or success might be counting the money in your bank. But the way I see success, or continue to see success, that here day to day, I'm providing for my children. We don't spoil, or we do spoil them, I think, and I think every parent does that, but also make sure that they actually know that it requires hard work to achieve things in life, and nothing simple.
Yeah, mate. Hey, I've got a bit of a shout out for Leah Johnson here. She's put a comment in the thread and said, "Look, nursing and mental health, what a legend." So, and also, I've got to say, I'm an Aboriginal male nurse. I don't know how many there are around Australia, but that's something that you don't hear of a lot. There may be lots of guys out there who are nursing, but we don't never hear about it.
Yeah, there's a CATSLM, which is Congress and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander something nurses. There actually is a platform or forum for them to meet, and they meet yearly. My current role is to actually oversee Aboriginal health workers within our organisation and part of our cultural framework. It's really good to see people even starting out with a Cert 4 in Aboriginal health and then developing that. So when people come into our Aboriginal health service or even non-Indigenous services, that there is what we say being able to work effectively in Aboriginal health services, not that word cultural safety or cultural awareness. We just say work effectively in Aboriginal health.
Yeah.
Is something that we are trying to establish here in Wellington and across other platforms and other services.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well done. I mean, that's a deadly story, and one that needs to be told, and one that as TJ and I have been talking about, we need to celebrate these stories. The successes that our lads have, rather than we always talk about that negative stuff. So we do need to celebrate the likes of like yourself, brother. So great story, and especially coming from a trade background and going through uni again. I mean, just amazing stuff, brother. So well done.
Yeah, and just on that, JB, is like I'm not a politician or a speaker or and as you probably most of you and some listeners would know that Aboriginal people find it maybe I don't know, we have been suppressed by colonisation and dispossession, but not big speakers or we don't want to be put in the limelight to be potentially shot down and be looking at examples like potentially Trell Mitchell or there's something that's just popped up with Cody Walker and while I've got the chance I'll say go the Blues because I know you Queenslanders so but it's something that some people are not comfortable with, and I know you guys don't expect people to be comfortable to be able to tell your story or reach out for help because sometimes none of us are big talkers or stuff to ourselves, but I think it's more about, especially in the mental health and depression and anxiety illnesses, that have someone there when they're ready to talk to. I guess everyone probably or people listening would have seen the Beyond Blue challenge where they drink a raw egg, some sugar, a shot of alcohol, then scull a beer. So unfortunately, Beyond Blue have come out and said, we don't endorse it. We obviously want the support, but alcohol, what that's done to Aboriginal communities and non-Indigenous communities as well, it's not portrayed. And I think it's people creating. They want to help, or if you don't do the act, you have to pay $200 or contribute $200 to Beyond Blue, which is great. But alcohol, the depressant, it shouldn't be. It's probably not the best story, but it's got people talking and then starting to listen. And I'm more, I think it's great that we had that awareness that there is mental health and it continues because a lot of mental health around suicide, we only start talking when we have an incident. So someone takes their life or attempts to take their life, and especially in our communities, we need to keep the conversation alive and for people to speak up when they're ready.
Absolutely. I think that's really well said too, brother. And CJ and I were talking about this earlier today, actually, because we weren't exactly sure if it was a Beyond Blue initiative or the money was just going to Beyond Blue, but we didn't think it was a good idea either, and someone has to have a look at that, and I think that's what you said there is really, really important, brother. So
Thanks.
Yeah, and Leah, John, I love your comment too about how do you measure success, which is a really big one in our communities right around Australia. Again, like how do we measure success? And I like the way you put it, brother. So well done.
Yeah, that's having the confidence that you've helped someone is a pretty good success, mate. And I think you do that on a regular basis, being who you are. I guess the role that you're in. I think that's in terms of success, I suppose it really is a measure that you own as an individual.
Yeah.
and that measurement isn't the same with everybody. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to just wait, what is real successful. Yourself. Whether it's a small thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking, I know, like, you guys obviously passionate about men's health, and so for listeners out there, that Charlie and I used to be part of Momentum, or Tomorrow's Indigenous Men, and we talk about identity, or we talk about family and a role model in your family, and I was sort of reflecting about what I do for my 4 children. So I've got 3 boys and 1 girl, from 12, and my youngest will be 4 tomorrow. So, but, to really show them that you love them, and that affection, or just to be able to say every night you put them in bed, even if you're in the opposite bed to them and they're down the corridor, but just the point of yelling out, love you, Trey, love you, Zaya, love you, Ryan, love you, Cortland, just to say that you don't know when you're going to be around or what's going to happen. And, obviously touching wood that, we're all of us are going to be around for a long time yet, but you just don't know how life short can be and how precious it can be, and can be taken away. And as an Indigenous man, we'll probably touch on it in a minute, but this COVID of, losing family members during COVID, that we're not able to do that sorry business and give that send-off, that was probably recognised, or, something that you'd really want to provide for community or family members.
Yeah, we had a yarn with Randall last Friday. Yeah, that's right. And for communities that are locked down, especially remote communities that have got nothing, no COVID, or no positive, or even people suspected with COVID, you're required to have 10 people at the funeral and all that sort of stuff. And, you think that, in those instances, it'd be a case by case scenario, wouldn't it? Whether as you all know, when we do grieve and we do pay our respects, it's usually in mass.
That's right.
Family and friends.
Absolutely.
So it makes it a bit harder these days with this stuff happening, I suppose. And it's very sad, and it's and I just think they've got it wrong. They probably need to, if we're in Brisbane here or Gold Coast, yeah, sure, we've got to keep away, keep our distances and all that sort of stuff. But when you're in a place where, say, let's say, has got no cases at all, then you would think that, you could all go to without putting yourself at risk.
Yeah, and, it's like going to an Aboriginal person's funeral. You want to cuddle, you want to kiss, you want to, show affection to a brother or sister that you haven't seen in some time. It's really hard to show that, I guess, bit of a disconnect that you can't do it. But in Wellington, so I live in Dubbo, but I work in Wellington. Police have been obviously adhering to the policies and that, but have been a little bit lenient to understand the people's status that they've had in the community, and sort of been a bit, I guess, lenient, and been supportive of understanding, especially cultural ways for Aboriginal people to have a great send-off for someone.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, well said. As well said. Just want to give a little shout out to a few people. Tanya Magro in Melbourne watching. Leah, as Charlie said before, Leah Johnson. Tammy Hunter's watching. G'day, Tammy. And we've got Dan there as well. And Jack Dempsey. G'day, Jack, up in Toowoomba there. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, and hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Now, how has COVID-19 affected, firstly, I suppose, your work, and tell us a little bit how it's, if it's affected your family life at all, or we've talked a little bit about the funeral situation, which is something that is really big for all people, but particularly Aboriginal people not being able to, as you said, get to have a good send off for our mob, and we do like to have a hug, and we do like to have a kiss and those sort of things. So so it has been hard. So tell us a little bit about how it's been for you, brother.
Yeah, so working in the clinic, we've had to I guess organisationally, with people over 50 and chronic condition are working from home, so ones that are potentially vulnerable. We had in Wellington a couple of cases. I'm not sure of the direct if the people had been on the Ruby Princess or had contact with some people on the Ruby Princess, and there was actually quite an unwell bloke that actually was in ICU but has recovered in Dubbo Base Hospital. So that sort of, I guess, sent shockwaves through the community, because we're only talking a community of Wellington itself of 4,000 people. So word does travel quite quickly. We've had to, a lot of telehealth has started to come in, so doing phone appointments, which has been quite good. And I think we're up to about week 8 since restrictions have come in for telehealth, and there's so much we can do over the phone, but still that the regularity of seeing a doctor face to face or doing a physical assessment still needs to be. We still need to do it. So we have a really stringent processing of calling the patients before they come for their appointment, asking them the question, sore throat, shortness of breath, being in contact with anyone with COVID, running posts now as the criteria has changed. We also have some staff at the front door that do the screening, take a temp, and then ask them questions. And then we're all gowned up in masked as well. So to protect ourselves and our family, to protect the community, because we know that with COVID-19, you may not just be displaying any signs or symptoms, but you still may have the infection. So we don't want to be spreading it. I'm actually lucky. I'm actually filming in a little 2-bedroom unit that I've got here at home in my old grandparents' house. And when the COVID come out week 2, I actually come down and set this up as a little isolation area, with the fears that might have to be isolated from my family if we were to come in contact with COVID-infected people at the clinic, or if I was to be infected and isolate myself from my family. Unfortunately, you're right, Charlie.
Yeah, no, mate. Do you think those practices, like you're mentioning, the screening before they come into the clinic, or outside the clinic, they're asking the questions? Do you think those practices leave COVID-19, so that going forward, we're really screening people about whether they've got the flu or whatever, that's something that they could also transmit?
Yeah, and so we got the flu vaccine. I think it was early April. Batch, and what we did in Wellington is actually we've been doing flu injections in the car park, and then just in some marquees to keep social distancing and stuff. But we really pushed it that we didn't want people to potentially get infected with COVID-19 when it started in March, and flu season around, or probably commence in the next 2 to 4 weeks, that we wouldn't have a spike of potentially COVID and the flu. So over 5 weeks now, we've a bit over 850 flu shots for the community members in Wellington, which is almost 1/3 of the population. In Wellington, we only have the 2 GP services, and obviously pharmacies that can provide flu immunisations, but community really been good on that uptake. Again, it's the questions, it's the social distancing. It's becoming a bit more of a habit now, and people are quite understanding. I guess it's come from runting. We're immunising young children, that we're seeing people in gowns and masks, and they not actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
We go, Charlie.
How does your kids, react to this COVID? I guess.
Yeah.
What are they? Hello, he's frozen again.
I might have lost him again.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, no, that was getting interesting. I was really keen to know, but listen, David Eric Sutton's on.
Also, David.
Our guys up in Hopevale as well, watching on. They what's his name? John Carl Riley.
John Carl Riley, yeah. G'day, fellas.
He's on, yeah.
We've got Paul McNeil in Melbourne watching.
Yeah, I've got Zany.
G'day, Paul. We've got Patrick Wayne in Townsville.
Yep.
And we've got g'day, Danielle, down in Melbourne as well.
Yeah, we all
They had to drink back that shit.
Oh, mate, what's going on? So how are those kids? What do they think of it? Well, you probably listen to them talk about it, or
Yeah,
talking to
it's
them.
been quite different. My family situation with my parents has probably opened me up to a different field. So my mum's recently been diagnosed with breast cancer. She had surgery to remove the lump. I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks ago, maybe a bit longer. And so we've been, I guess, been able to talk to my kids about not having contact with her has been a bit of a struggle, but they sort of understand in a sense because they don't want my mum to get sick, but also my father. There's a lot of chronic conditions, heart disease, diabetes, and is an amputee from his diabetes. So they understand, but they also understand life goes on. They still want to have that interaction with my children. My children, they don't think they're pushing them away, but it's just been different, not being able to see each other as regular.
Yeah.
The COVID thing with schooling has probably been the biggest issue, or not an issue,
Yeah.
but trying to navigate that.
Yeah.
So
How old are you? How old are your kids, Joe?
12, 9, 6 and 4.
Oh,
Okay, beautiful.
yeah.
So the high school fellow, year 7's pretty self-sufficient, but the other
Yeah.
two, primary school, they've got the learning and the modules in a pack or online, but they're not actually getting taught the material,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is probably a lot of familiarity with our culture. That we have the information there, and we're reading it out of the book. We're not actually being shown or demonstrated the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more adult learning, and they're only kids that I am studying distance learning, and most people probably would study. You watch so many YouTube videos and clips, and are pretty good demos. But if you're having to read it and pick it up and interpret it, it's probably a little bit more difficult.
Difficult. Yeah. No, it's we had a few guys on, and Dion, he came on a couple of weeks ago, talked a bit about what he was doing. He was doing a bit of the homeschooling. He said, "You reckon the teachers can have, they should be congratulated," which obviously they should be, because it is a hard gig, I suppose, and having, I guess, to do it, but then being able to do it in a way that the learning experience is there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, so when your kids back at school, Jay?
So because my wife's a teacher, my youngest two started back straight away. So they're essential workers. And my eldest fella will start. It wasn't meant to be 1 day a week till week 7, and we're in week 3, but they're actually starting back on Wednesday full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things are changing. I think that's hard for people to keep up with. Also, probably the employment that COVID's really affected people that have lost jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enough that I've got a position, I've got a job that's required, but I just shout out to people that are maybe doing it tough and not being able to have money coming in, and to obviously keep looking ahead, and everyone can help each other out, make sure we have everything.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. We need to support each other, in terms of that. Trying to get to the other end of this COVID stuff. It's whatever happens, I suppose, if we can maintain that focus and that support, we should be all right. Get the other end okay. Having too much go wrong, I suppose. So, but yeah.
So the other thing with COVID that's really been thing for us is no sport.
Yeah, I know.
Like, footy or soccer and other things for our kids. I bought one of my sons a bike. His birthday's not till July. I bought him an early birthday present to get him out of the house and off the PlayStation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this the swimmer guy, the bloke that swims?
Yeah, they're all swim. One of them, they swim. So
pretty good swimmers, I heard.
They like to keep themselves busy, and we find it's important part of social life and health and fitness.
Yeah,
just
not
like
bad. Yeah, not bad for a freshwater.
Just got a couple more comments there coming through. Leah's got to go and pick the kids up, but thanks for sharing your story, and the biggest respect to you all. And Patrick Wayne, I miss my grandkids, but they understand why because of my diabetes. Their dad explains everything to them. So something that you were just talking about, Jay, with respect to that. So, yeah, good on you, brother boy Wayne Turner up there. We've got Dazer Atkinson watching as well. G'day, Dazer, down in Melbourne. Good brother boy of mine.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
So,
I'm all over the place. We've got someone from Wales too. I think it's Jan. I think she is.
Dan's there, yeah, Dan's there.
We're going global. He's a going
Yeah, we're
global.
going,
We'll end up on Mars, I suppose, somewhere.
yeah, probably a pretty good place for us too, brother.
I reckon, yeah. Actually, I was thinking and Joe was talking about, being a good kid at school. I reckon you must have played up, JB. I reckon you a lot of trouble.
Well, I'm not going to say anything, brother, because no, I'm not even going to say anything there. So
Yeah.
But I've got a bit of a same background as Jay there because I was a tradie too. So and a couple of fellas that we've had on that are now working in men's health and all that sort of stuff started off at tradies. So yeah, look, I've got that background as well, and yeah, was lucky enough to go to uni and do a health sciences degree. So yeah, so same sort of background there, brother. So yeah.
I think the big message is, he sets him on to something. I suppose you can achieve it, and the young fellas out there, we didn't just happen to be this way. We actually, had jobs early on. What's your first job, Jay? What did you start as?
I was a cleaner at a butcher's shop, so I used to go in and clean the mincer and all the a wash-up pig, dish pig, basically. Yeah.
Dish pig.
Yeah. And my parents, because we played so much sport, my dad had 2 jobs. So he used to work at a factory and then had a lawn mowing business on the side. So after school or on weekends, we'd have to go and mow lawns. My mum was a manager of a motel. One job, at one stage, she had 3 jobs. She was doing that, monitoring alarms for a security company and also packing shelves at an IGA sort of store as well to be able to pay for our kids. So
Yeah.
to pay for me, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's we all got to start somewhere. Where did you start, JB? You said you were a tradie, but what was your first paid job?
I reckon paper boy, actually. Paper boy, getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, when I was 9 years old. Did that for a few years. Yeah, so that was a bit cold down there in Melbourne at that time. So, yeah. So sort of, yeah, I'll go with that, paper boy, yeah. So, what about you, Steve?
Oh, look, I think I did my first paid job would probably be running the line at the local football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just on the sideline, running down, up and down, getting the ball back to them and, taking the sand. We used to have sand back in the days and they'd pull the mould out of sand and put the ball on the place for the conversion. So I did that, did a bit of that game day. But the other thing I did when I wasn't doing that at game day was actually going to the ground selling roasted peanuts. I got paid for that.
Yeah.
I remember I used to be ball boy as well for my dad. We used to we actually picked up the cans after the game for the old gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Out of that, and we got a pie and a can of Coke, and that was our payment, and $5.
$5.
$5.
Good money.
Yeah.
Good money.
Good money.
We've got a couple other. Richard Weston said, "G'day, Richard," and he said, "Good discussion, guys." We've got Patrick Rain just said, "I realise that grandkids don't miss me; they miss my PlayStation." So, yeah.
Hide the control.
That's it. And Jan said she knows a few tradespeople with anxiety problems, quite debilitating, and I'd imagine difficulty in still predominantly macho environment. And I guess that's probably right too. And we do. I think we've got a lot better over the last 10, 15 years of being able to start to talk about, some of the issues that we are going through, but still a long way to go. And that's why we we need, like sessions like this for us to be able to come on, have a yarn, talk about our concerns and issues. And, someone might have a solution for us, or we might have a solution for someone else. So just really good to get out there and just have a yarn. And mate, I've really enjoyed, Jay, what you've been telling us. It's been fantastic, brother. So yeah, so I reckon good on you.
All right, thank
Yeah.
And then the message, and I'm more than happy to. Sorry, I'm not sure who the user that's quoted about the tradesperson is, but it is actually difficult to ask for help. Been in that situation myself and put my hand up to say I work in health, but to actually still own it, to say I actually need to talk to someone about my issue, and whether it be a friend or a parent, a neighbour, your coach, or just a stranger that you feel comfortable. But when you go to think that you need clinical help, it's not easy to get that clinical help. So generally it has to be a referral from a GP, or could be online, but to actually go to a stranger, a GP, and say, I'm struggling with ABC, I'm not sure where else to go to, maybe I'm not at the stage, I don't want to hurt myself, I don't want to hurt anyone else, but maybe my relationship's suffering, my employment, my job, I'm not concentrating. That to tell a stranger that I need help is actually is the hardest thing to actually admit that you need the help. The next step is, after you get that, is to be able to find someone that you connect with to talk about your problems, and that person be able to build that rapport and then give you techniques to support the anxiety or your depression. I'd suggest if you do go that one fix, it's not going to be fixed overnight. But you work at it, you will get there.
I think really well, brother. And I think what's been good for a lot of fellas too around Australia is, like these men's groups that have been happening as well, and like for other fellas to be able to see, fellas talk about what they're going through. It makes them feel safe, and it gives them the chance to then talk about what they're going through as well. So I think the men's and the women's groups are really good for our mobs as well. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, so definitely, if there's something in the community and you have the time to link in with the men's groups or women's groups, definitely reach out and attend when you can attend. I'm sure there'll be someone that'll be able to link you in the community. So.
And if there's nothing happening in your community, there's always the opportunity to start one, And I know that some of the work that I do up here in Brisbane, I guess, is where there's nothing. I'll just organise, a couple of guys to sit around like we are just now, but possibly go somewhere and have a chat, with no agenda. It's really good that, for guys to connect at that level, I guess, and, in a sort of confrontational sort of environment, if you like, where there's no agenda, all we're doing is sit around having a yarn, Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the thing is too, like, they are so important, and it is something that fellas and girls, they start to feel safe in the environment. You know what I mean? And then they are able to talk about what is bothering them, or and it might save someone's life. So they're the good things about having those men's and women's groups that are popping up, and we're just about to start one here on the Gold Coast, a dad's group actually. So. With in conjunction with Queensland Health, so it'll be good. Look forward to it. We've got a few more. Do you want to read a couple of those out, Charlie?
Just looking at Jan's. Chris Lee's come on board. Hey, you going, bro? Chris Lee's down in Melbourne. I think he's down that way. Down that way. Yeah,
I think he's up this way. Yeah. I think Chris is up this way.
Yeah, guys, he reckons. Hey, brother, hope all is well. I would say that. Jan Hogan says, I know a few tradies. You said that about the problems debilitating.
Yeah.
Patrick Lane said he left school and ran away with the showies when he was younger. Took off with the showies.
Good on you,
and yeah, Chris Lee said so many of our, especially our men, suffer trauma anxiety, but self-medicate ATODs. Prisons full of our mob suffering trauma with mental health issues. So, definitely. I think there's a big.
And Chris would know that too because he's done a lot of work in prisons with our lads. So good on you, Chris, for that. I don't know if you're still doing it or not, but I know you were last year. So keep up that good work. So
I remember Jay doing.
Sorry, brother.
I remember Jay doing some work at Wellington. They got a juvenile justice centre there, the young blokes.
Yeah, so and we're just recently doing a pilot, Commonwealth funded Cairns, was it Apapina, and Congress and Alice Springs and Wello. It's around.
Oh yeah.
I guess going to centres and trying to provide education and advice for Aboriginal controlled health services outside of justice health. Reintegrate people back into them mental health services or alcohol and other drug services. I think there's still a lot of work, and I'm not sure who's going to be online, but there's a lot of work Justice Health and Correctives needs to reach out to Aboriginal community-controlled sectors about what we can do to help our community members that have been incarcerated and continue to be incarcerated around their mental health and their drug and addiction and even just their chronic disease conditions, that we can potentially look at reducing the cycle of people being incarcerated. You know, we look at mental health, people come out. So example is you may be incarcerated, go to court, get bail. My understanding and what I've been told is the person will be discharged to the community or released into the community with no medication, medical history to go to a service. This population of people can be transient, that they actually go to that address or a known address to have support. So, anyone Justice Health or Correctives listening out there, please get in contact, in any state if community-controlled health sectors, organisations, ways that you can keep improving that service delivery for our community members.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I think that's you're right. It's kind of like a revolving door sometimes, and we want to keep guys out of there. And certainly, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community services, whether it be health service or whatever, have got to be involved in that, especially if they're local mob.
Yeah.
To try to, basically have a yarn with them, support them and link them in, around the community, I suppose, that do that sort of stuff. Some men's groups in particular, even groups as well, women's groups are always good to get involved with. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing too, CJ, is that, everybody needs to have someone to yarn to, and it might be someone that's in your close group, but it might not be it. We might need people that are outside of our closest friends group. So it might be someone that we need to connect with. You know what I mean? So it's about putting it out there. Us take responsibility for ourselves.
Yeah, the people obviously have family that work in Aboriginal health, and they find that can be a bit of a stopper of people not going to the service because they don't want people or family members to know their story or know what's going on. But then we need mainstream services to be ready also to adequately support our community members when they're looking to them as well.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, this COVID stuff, I suppose you mentioned telehealth earlier. Surely that must be increasing access for fellas like that who don't want to go into the clinic because of maybe a problem with kinship stuff or and that kind of thing. You can actually ring up now and maybe go through the preliminary part of your appointment.
Yeah, in a sense it has definitely. But it also has a bit back the other way because we're losing people that generally turn up to our service that we could actually see what's happening with them. So we're losing that visual observation or that check-in. So we've currently under our service we can't do home visits. But
right.
trying to see if we can get an exemption or something to actually do welfare checks, that we're aware of, someone may not be doing too well, that there's drug use or mental health, or a bit delayed on their medication or their compliance. Medication compliance is not the best, but also, may not have anywhere of housing or something like that. So we're looking at ways. So yes, on the flip side, we can provide a service over the phone, but on the flip side of that is the really vulnerable people who potentially could get missed.
Now, it's a shame you can't do those home visits,
Yeah.
That would help a lot, I suppose, with people. But like you say, we need to get the public health mob on board as well, community health, I guess.
Yeah. And, we're lucky, and you guys working with Quake and Queensland Health and out here Western New South Wales Health, Scotty McLaughlin, the CEO, and Brendan Cutmore, a couple of the, directors of Aboriginal Health, and the CEO are really working towards to support that gap, provide services, and them on board obviously makes a lot easier to process and continue to improve health outcomes for Aboriginal and non-Indigenous people.
Yeah. So besides work, mate, I know you're probably pretty busy, but what else do you do to keep yourself busy when you're not at work? I mean,
so I'm actually mad on training and going to the gym, and I also like running. So where I live, I'm only about 300 meters from a river trail. So I like getting out on that, just running and walking. So checked last week, me and my wife had done 32 or 33 Ks in a week, just jogging 5 Ks a day. It also, so unfortunately, I think we're going back about 5 years ago, I lost my brother-in-law in a car accident. My brother-in-law married 2 sisters. He had 3 young children, and when he was on life support in Royal North Shore, and unfortunately had a car accident and had a massive brain injury. And when we had to, unfortunately, or the family decided to turn things off. I was actually out on a similar sort of track, and my sister-in-law put the phone up to my brother-in-law's ear, and I said I'd look after the family and all that sort of thing. Obviously, it was pretty emotional. He's sort of like a brother, and I'm not sure how other people have connections to their brother-in-laws, but you actually sort of get to understand the women, your wife, and have a bit better, and often you can bounce off each other about their traits. And
good luck with that, bro.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So, but I guess when I run, I'm remembering him and remembering, seeing a bird, and, it brings, it's not trauma, but it brings back memories of him, but it also is a good escape for me about how I handle death for someone that was close to me. So my things is keeping fit. I'm actually on an alcohol-free pledge at the moment, so I think I'm day 33. I'm not a massive drinker anyway, but I found not having any alcohol for a week, my head's a lot clearer. I'd only probably have 2 or 3 beers a week, and then obviously I'd probably have a binge on a special occasion, and I would get drunk. But I'm finding I don't need alcohol at all. I don't smoke. I've never been smoked when I was a kid, and probably like JB being a bit rebellious back in his days and won't talk about it. But I've got a family history of smokers, and unfortunately, a family history of having people that indulged in alcohol a bit too much. Their health sort of paid for it, and family sort of paid for having alcohol and involved in relationships and family situations. So,
Thanks for hearing that.
It's a good thing for my kids. My kids see me with a beer and they say, "What's going on? Has something happened?" And I don't think there's probably, too many people that I see that as a positive, that there's something wrong, and they ask me what's wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's just I'm just on my fence.
No, that's good, mate. Thanks for sharing your story there about your brother-in-law, mate. That's pretty strong.
Yeah, thanks.
A
couple more comments there, CJ?
Yeah, we have, mate. There, a couple of guys have said, David Derek Sutton said good yarns. Chris, I forgot to Lee's in Canberra. So he's also said diabetes is out of control in the communities too. Kids as young as 10 getting type 2.
Yeah.
I won't say what he said after that. Patrick Bain said he's had a bit of trouble with depression at an early age. Jack knows his story, and he turned to you, mate. He said you're the only one that he felt confident about sharing his story. So yeah, that's that stuff I suppose we talked a little bit about earlier. Whether it's a mate or a family member, or someone that you're feeling comfortable with, you got a connection, you should be able to talk to them, and it helps. Help you. So it does help to talk to someone. Thanks, Brother Jack, for forever great. Jam says we are more similar than we are different, and which is pretty much true. Yes, too right, Jan. David said 100%. I think he's got 10% for that. But we know what you mean. But yeah, that's better. He just typed in 100%.
Hey, Charlie, I've got something to ask at the end of this. As you know, I've been doing this push-up challenge. Today's day 25, my last day.
Oh, yes.
At the end of this, I want to do them on film, so we can just get the last 25 on film at the end of this video. All right?
Yeah, you haven't pre-recorded it, have you?
No, brother. No. I'm going to get Lisa out, and she's going to come and video it for us. So it's for a good cause. It's around mental health and those sort of things. So it has been a bit of fun. It has made me accountable. That I have to do this every day. 25 doesn't sound much, but it's actually been hard at times. So, especially when you miss a day and you have to do 50. So that's what I do. So,
500, 25, 24.
Yeah.
Is it? No, it's not.
Something like that. Oh, I don't know, brother. You're the mathematician.
No, it can't be 1,000 push-ups.
No.
Come on, I've only got 10 fingers here. That's all I've got.
500 and something. I don't know.
I'm going to guess it.
Yeah, just having a guess. So if we can do that at the end, I'll be really appreciative of it. And I've got to nominate someone. So watch out, CJ.
Yeah. Are you still on your what's the diet stuff you're drinking?
No, not anymore, mate. Not anymore.
The shakes are gone.
Yeah, shapes are good. Yeah. Oh, well, we've got a heap of them here, but we just haven't been doing it. I've moved down to the coast as well today. So
Yeah.
So
Are you walking? So you're out swimming?
Oh yeah, mate. Every morning.
I've got a vouch for him, Jay. I see him out walking every morning, so he's doing well.
That's good.
Yeah. Just checking out the surf, just looking at it. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I say it's pretty good for my social emotional well-being. So I'm looking after myself.
And he's enjoying his coffee too, Jay.
I don't want an almond coffee. I actually started with the almond and they half almond, half oatmeal. So that's not too bad either. So it's pretty good. Yeah. It's keeps me busy anyway. It looks like we lost him again, Jack.
We will Jay again.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Bit of trouble down there, eh?
I reckon. Now listen, I'm gonna.
We had bad internet here.
What's your plans for the week, mate? What are you doing? Is there something different you're going to do? Besides
look, we've got Jay coming back in, so we'll just let him back in. Here he's back now.
Sorry, guys.
We might.
I was saying, Charlie, too much milk.
Yes. No more milk.
Now, Jay, we're just talking about what we got planned for the week coming up. So, what are your plans for this week, brother?
Mine's just son's birthday tomorrow, so I'm only going to work half a day in Wellington and then come back and get ready. Just got one family. My in-laws are coming over tomorrow night. A bit of a fire bucket, marshmallows, that sort of thing. And then the rest of the week's just work. Kids back to school. Pretty, I guess, routine schedule now with COVID starting to relax a bit of the laws. Really interested to be able to get out and socialise and catch up with a few mates and have some family and friends get together. But really looking forward when sport can get back on ready, especially for young men or young women as well. It's the distraction of having sport or having really something to focus on, as well as schooling. Obviously, education is, I think, number one key to improving, things for our communities. But support really socially, physically is really key. And I, really looking forward to that. But that's pretty much my week. And then, Saturday's my cleaning days, Sunday's my ironing days, and
Ironing. What's that?
yeah, ironing. Yeah, I know it's not good.
Yes. Bloody hell.
I buy these. You don't have to iron, brother.
Yeah, no.
I'm lucky my wife's not listening. Plus, I'll probably have to cook dinner every night and clean every night. So I'll get that if I can.
God, it's
What
hard.
about you, CJ? What are you up to, CJ?
Same as Joe, I suppose. A bit of work, mate. I'll get stuck into that. There's a few little things I've done, I suppose, around a couple of ideas, I suppose. I'm always, keen. All this time, on my own, it's kind of, it's sometimes I just come up with these ideas and, me. So I'm going to be doing some work on that. No, not a great deal, mate. I think it's we can travel 150 kilometres now, so maybe we get up to Brisbane, maybe on the weekend with my boys and my little granddaughter and all that sort of stuff. Which would be good. Things are afoot, I suppose. But I might make it that I might have another go at that banana cake again, or banana bread. Sorry,
I reckon you should, brother. I reckon you should.
I'll have another go at it. I think I've got enough ingredients here to do it.
Some eggs, fresh eggs.
Yeah, mate, you got any fresh eggs there?
Bring
Okay.
you some in the morning, brother.
Chooks doing? They not lying or what's going on?
Yeah, there's a couple of them alone. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, mate? What are you gonna do?
Got a little, probably same as you, fellas. A bit of work to do. A bit of my masters to do as well. So I'm chugging along with that at the moment. So I suppose COVID-19 has been good for me masters because I keep putting that off. So my supervisor is going to be happy. So hopefully we finish by October. So yeah.
Oh, that's good, mate. Yeah, well, that'll be great too. I've got a little bit of study myself. You're not studying anymore, are you, Jay?
Actually, I've just completed my Cert 4 Aboriginal Health Practitioner. So,
congratulations, mate.
a lot of it was I had prior learning from my degree, but it was another something I thought would be really good. And so when we look at Medicare, what we can generate for income in the service, having my practitioner plus my practice, registered nursing, just a bit more money for the practice or wherever I'm at. But keen on looking at something. I don't know. I'm sort of keen on looking at maybe governance. Something around maybe and a bit more around management and business management sort of thing in the future.
That sounds like work to me, mate.
Yeah.
Mr. Yasso watching us, and also Patrick Wayne said I'm going to do a random act on this to someone.
Good on you, brother boy.
Yeah, good on you, Patrick. And Chris Lee's going to go for a big bike ride, a motorbike ride. He reckons.
When you're talking about that random act of kindness, I've always got my thing when I go to a bigger city or even in Dubbo, but homeless people that, I can just walk up and have a conversation and actually give them a meal and go and have a yarn to them. And I've done it a couple of times. It's not about something that I want to get out of it, and it's not or someone's asking me for a bit of spare change, but to actually sit with someone, have a conversation. You don't need to know the life story, but it's just maybe a bit of company. And if anyone's looking for a random kind of act of kindness, I'd definitely say if you're comfortable with it, have a crack at it because it's good for both.
I agree with that, brother.
That sounds like a challenge for us too, mate. That sounds like a challenge, JB. We will probably
I'm happy to do that because we actually do that. Whenever we see, there's plenty of homeless people in Burleigh, we always stop and have a yarn and see how they're going. And they actually are surprised that, people want to have a yarn and see how they are going. So we do a little bit of that, but yeah, happy to do it even more. So, yeah.
Well, we've got a week to do one. We've got till Friday.
All right, we're on.
Okay, good on you, Jay.
All right, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. I hope everyone got something out of it. And I'll see you take 2.
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, no worries. Well,
Cool.
we had a bit of problems trying to get on this tonight, but yeah, we're getting there. I think this is probably how many, Jack, about
I
broadcast.
reckon, 7 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, you reckon we
Big
do?
Thanks so much for joining.
Big shout out to you two guys too for having a crack at this and really putting it out there for people to be able to listen in and get something out of it. And who knows what someone may take away from it, but congratulations
Yeah.
to you guys for having a crack and setting it up. So well
Thanks,
done.
brother. Appreciate that.
Well
Right.
done, mate.
I'm going to do these push-ups, brother. So,
All right, hold on. Wait, we're going to watch this, Jay.
Yeah, I'm going to tune into this.
Yeah, we've got to see this. Where is he? Oh, he's there. He's going. You want us to count?
are you going to count it, brother?
No, at least you can count them. We can't even see you.
I can't count. You don't want me to count them. Can you see now?
Yeah. When I get the 10 and I can't count them all. How many is he?
9, I've got 10, 11,
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
keep going. T can stop. Keep going. Keep going.
6. Keep going, Jack.
Push him out. Come on. Last one.
10.
Make it work. Make it work. Well done.
Jeez. Well done, buddy. 25 by 25, mate. Great effort.
Yep.
I didn't think you were going to stop then. I was going to say run, but
Yeah, no. Had to stop.
Good on you, Jack.
Thanks, brothers.
No worries. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, everyone.
Please,
Hey, let's
Lana.
all guys share this feed if you're out there. Jay, share it with your mates, whatever. Get them on.
Yeah.
We're here every Monday and Friday. So Friday at 4:30 this Friday. We've got another special guest coming up on Friday, so we'll keep you posted on our. We've got a Facebook group. If you're not part of the group, get them to join. We're happy to have you on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you, fellas.
No,
All right,
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.